Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about evolution. What is it, what it's not, is it real, is it not real? And it's real, and the reason why I know it's real is when I look at different dog breeds, okay? Most dog breeds that we have today did not exist 200, 300, 500 years ago, okay? So most dog breeds are modern creations, okay? And the way we've created them is we take dogs that have certain characteristics that we like, okay? And we breed them together, right? So you take a male dog and a female dog that have characteristics that you like, and you basically put them inside a pen, all right, and they're kind of forced to breed, okay? And then you keep doing this over a couple of generations, and that trait, that you like, that you keep doing this, that trait becomes more and more pronounced, okay? So if you're looking for a dog that's larger or smaller or has a certain type of bark, but by isolating an animal that has those traits and repetitively breeding them, you bring that out, okay? Now, I also noticed from looking at chickens, okay? I have about 150 chickens, some ducks, and, modern day chickens are nothing like chickens from 200 years ago, okay? 200 years ago, the average chicken laid about 80 eggs per year. Modern day chickens lay about 300 eggs per year. So functionally speaking, the chicken is a different animal than it was 200 years ago, okay? And the way we've done this is basically over 200 years, we have repetitively bred chickens that lay lots of eggs. And we've done this repetitively in order to get the chickens that lay the most eggs, okay? Now, there's a cost to this. The cost is that because these chickens have been bred for this one specific purpose, they're not good at doing other things, okay? For one thing, modern day chickens, they require a lot of food, okay? So it's a lot harder for them to live out in nature by themselves. They require a much higher source of protein, and that makes sense because they're producing more eggs. Okay? The other thing that has happened is since modern day chickens, they typically don't sit on their eggs and hatch them out. The chicks are basically, the eggs are taken and they're put in an incubator, and that's how we produce new chickens, okay? Because of that process, basically chickens have lost the necessity to sit on their eggs and hatch them out. And out of the 150 or so chickens that I have, okay, a very small percentage will actually, of the hens, a very small percentage of the hens will actually sit on their eggs and attempt to hatch them. And of that percentage, an even smaller percentage, after they hatch the eggs out, will actually take care of the small chicks. Most chickens, after they lay their eggs, are going to try and eat them, okay? And of the chickens that actually do sit on their eggs, okay, most chickens, once the chicks hatch out, they will peck them to death and then try to eat them, okay? Because, again, that is a trait that has been lost because it was not necessary to their survival, okay? And basically, we have continually allowed chickens that don't have that survival trait to breed, so it's been lost. Now, what would happen is, let's say we let these chickens loose into the wild and man somehow disappeared, all right? What would happen is all those chickens that don't have that trait to sit on their eggs and hatch them out, they're going to die off. They're not going to reproduce. The small 1% or 2% of chickens that actually sit on their eggs and hatch out the chicks and take care of them, okay, those are the ones that are going to continue to breed generation after generation, and that trait is going to become stronger and stronger, okay? So right there you have an example of evolution going one way and then how it would go completely the other way. Now, you might say that, well, that's not real evolution because, man is intervening in that. We're putting these animals inside of pens and fences. And I'm telling you that there's no difference whether the control is artificial or natural, okay? So in one case we have fences and pens, and in the other case we have rivers, mountains, and deserts that isolate certain animals, okay, and forces them to breed amongst themselves, and the ones that survive and continue to breed are the ones that continue to breed are the ones that are the most adaptable to that environment. So that's evolution in a nutshell, and that's where you're going to find the proof, okay? Look at the dog breeds, look at the chicken breeds, and you will see how we've actually changed what these animals are by selectively breeding them. So what I want to do now is take this concept of evolution and apply it to the modern human condition. Okay, and the thing that seems odd to me that you have almost 70% of the population, maybe even higher, that is willing to be subservient to government. Okay, you have, at least almost 70% of the population willing to submit to gun control, and happily paying their taxes. So I find that kind of odd, and I question how that came about. And what I find is that, human history is 5,000 years of slavery, okay, in one form or another. In some cases, it was outright slavery. In other cases, it was serfdom, okay, where basically the peasants are tied to the land and they serve a land baron. In all these cases, what we find is that the people that are the most willing to submit and to serve, okay, and obey, these are the ones that are allowed to live and breed. Okay, the ones that resist, okay, those are usually killed off. Okay, so only the best slaves, the most obedient slaves, or the most obedient serfs, are allowed to live and continue to breed. And that's how I think we've arrived to the point that we are today, where we have almost the entire population, the entire human population of the earth, that is happy to work 40 hours a week and pay almost 40-50% in taxes in one form or another. And it may be income taxes, it might be property taxes, when sales tax. When you combine all these things up, most people are paying a very high percentage of their income in taxes. And then the question becomes is, at what point is taxation slavery? Because at some point, because what's slavery? Slavery is that you work and I take everything. I basically take everything from you. Okay, as far as whatever you produce. Okay, so most people today, if you tell them that, hey, if you're paying 15% in taxes, is that slavery? And they might say no. But what if that was 70% or 80% or 90%? At some point, you are working solely for the purpose of benefiting somebody else. Okay, and I think we're closely, I think we're definitely approaching that. Okay, if the house that you live in, that you think that you own, if you don't pay your property taxes, they're gonna take that house away from you, and you go and you live in the streets. Okay, so today the reason that I think that we are in this situation is through natural evolution, right? Through the means of killing off the people over 5,000 years that actually had the free spirit and that were willing to resist government. We basically have killed all those people off, and what we are left with is us, who apparently are happy to serve government, pay our taxes, and just accept our 2 weeks vacation every year. So there's some things for you guys to think about. I'll talk to you guys next time.